Yo, I know what you here for. Let's get to that sports talk. I got my boy Vance here. Dino back in the chat. We back on live. I was on vacation last week, but we about to get it started back right. We got a lot to talk about here, a lot of sports news going on,
Hey,
and a
before
lot of
we get
stuff to
into
get
it,
off our chest.
how was Florida?
Oh, amazing. Amazing.
It looked the
Vlog coming
pictures.
out tomorrow.
The
Just
the pictures you sent me, it looked nice. Fort Lauderdale,
yeah,
Miami, it looked
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, yeah. And just for that, y'all look out for the vlog coming out tomorrow. Uh Big YouTuber talk to me in that video. Corey SSG. Y'all go watch that video. And short forms coming out. Got some Q&As in front of the Heat Stadium. We seeing Hard Rock Q&As in front of the beach. So y'all go check that out. But that gets us to our first topic. We're gonna get to keep talking about some sports. We're gonna talk about football here. And Dan Quinn, the guy, has just signed a deal with the Washington Commanders. You know, new owner, Josh Harris, NBA type guys in there. The interview didn't go right with Ben Johnson and all them people over there in the Lions. He wanted to stay in offensive coordinator for the Lions. Didn't like that all these guys were NBA players. So we had to settle on Dan Quinn. What do I think about this situation? What do I think about this hiring? I honestly don't know. The man was a Cowboy. We know how I feel about the Cowboys. I don't like him. They choked against the Green Bay Packers in the first round, and we've seen that defense, and that defense looked horrifying. Michael Parsons was nowhere to be found. That defense was nowhere to be found when Jordan Love was ditching and dodging out there and getting darts thrown to guys like Watson and guys like Reed. He was just doing them in. But as in the offensive side, we're thinking about getting Cliff Kingsbury. Maybe we can get an offensive player. Try to go ahead and try to grab
Right.
Caleb Williams. You already at the second overall pick. Dan Quinn's a good defensive guy. I hear players talk about how good he is. So let me get a guy a chance. Let me give my guy a chance. What you thinking, Vance?
So I'm with you on this because Dan Quinn, you needed Super Bowl experience. You had some with Ron Rivera. You have some again because as much as this hurts Atlanta fans to talk about, who was a defensive coordinator on that 2016 Arizona Falcons team? Dan Quinn. Offensive coordinator Kyle Shanahan. So again, you got more
Blew it
Super
to the
Bowl
age of 3.
experience.
Blew it.
Yeah, you got Super Bowl experience, and that's something that your team is looking to get back to. But where I stand on it is Dan
Haven't been
Quinn
back
from
since 91.
I know
91.
Dan Quinn for me, this is how I look at it, right? Dan Quinn couldn't get it done with that defense, and this is no slight on your team. You're not the Cowboys or the Eagles defense. If you
Exactly.
can't get it done with the Cowboys, as much as I like your team because as long as I've known you, they've kind of grown on me. So as much as I've liked your team, you're not the Cowboy defense. But maybe I've always said sometimes a change of scenery is needed, and I believe that wholeheartedly. Maybe he needed this. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Because Cliff Kingsbury, if you get him and you get Caleb Williams, that might be great. Because if I am the Bears, I've said
Honestly,
this from day one. I've said this from day one. If I'm the Bears, don't take a quarterback. Keep Justin Fields. Draft Marvin Harrison. But it's the Bears, so who knows what they're going to do.
yeah, we got to see what the Bears are going to do. We're not saying until the Bears pick their player, what they're going to get, then that's when we pick and choose. If they go for Caleb, I say trade for Justin Fields and draft Harrison at 2. If
Have
they
you heard
don't
about?
take Caleb, take Caleb.
I've heard something about when Cliff Kingsbury was at Texas Tech, right? He
Yep.
ran the air raid offense. The reason I say you shouldn't draft Caleb, you're going to hate this, but it's the God's honest truth. Where did Sam Howell go to school?
Went to North Carolina, I think, right?
What offense did they run? They run an air raid offense.
The same offense, yeah.
If
Same
you
offense.
get Cliff Kingsbury, you're going to have the quarterback that knows how to run that offense. I know you don't like Sam Howell, but he ran the same offense that Cliff Kingsbury ran when he was a coach in college. So they
Yeah,
know
but
the
we
same
talking about a
offense.
different type of breed in Caleb Williams. That ain't no same type of player as Sam Howell. Sam Howell,
I'm not
he
saying it's
still
the
had to
same.
develop coming
Caleb
off the
Williams,
bench and stuff, but
my dad's a USC fan, and I'll tell you this, and I've talked to my dad about this. My dad's a big USC fan. When he came to America, USC was like the dominant team. Caleb Williams rubs he and I the wrong way for one reason. This kid won the Heisman, then went 8-5. Now, my thing is, I would have more respect for Caleb Williams if he would stay the hell off Twitter. This kid put on Twitter that he wants to own the team that drafts him? You've done nothing, son. You've done zero.
I mean, he's a little picky. He ain't done nothing, but you know what I'm saying? These NIL deals got some of these players thinking different.
You think it
can't
gets to
really
their
pick
head?
and choose of what team you could go to.
Yeah,
So
do you think it
sometimes
gets to their head?
But Caleb Williams, but Caleb Williams is that outright favorite number one to go in the draft out of all quarterbacks. So maybe you can act different. When you playing different, you can act different. And Caleb Williams has been that dog. Cliff Kingsbury, he comes in. That means we definitely might get the guy. We might get that boy Caleb when we might. It's
Do
going
you
sky
think
high
you'd
with
move
this
up to
new
get him?
ownership.
Do you think you'll?
I think
you might move up.
We need to. We need to. If we right there, we're already right there, bro. Give up what you need to give up to go to one. And we needed more than the Bears. We needed more. We're on some Detroit stuff to where we haven't been since 91. We haven't ever been to the not the Super Bowl. We got 3, but we ain't been to the Super Bowl. I don't know.
Since
Doug
91.
Williams. We ain't been since Doug Williams. So nah, bro. The Bears, they done had their chances with they different. They got Mitchell Trubisky, even though you had a chance to get Mahomes. You done had the chances. Give us our chance to get our quarterback. That's all I'm asking.
I agree with you. I agree with that for one reason. The reason I say that you get your chances because of this. The Bears, as much as people rip on Justin Fields, and I'm an Ohio State guy, he turned it on at the end of the season. I understand that he hasn't looked great, and that's understandable. If you want to say he didn't look great, you have every right to say that. It's fine. But the Bears, besides DJ Moore, who's no longer there, name me another receiver on that team. Seriously, like anybody. Name me another one.
The thing is, Mooney was a good receiver the year before DJ Moore came. They just, I don't know, the offense just played really bad. But other than that, they really do need a wide receiver. So I get what you're getting at. They really need
that's
Harrison.
why I'm saying keep Justin Fields, draft Marvin Harrison, who won the Blitnikoff Award. Like people think that's crazy of me because like, oh, you always take the quarterback. Well, if you have the good quarterback and you need pieces, take the pieces. Like I think Justin Fields can be a great quarterback in this league. He just needs pieces.
If he needs pieces and a real guy to develop him right.
Yes.
I don't know what the type of Bears facility looking like. They ain't been, you know what I'm saying? If you're taking Mitchell Trubisky over Patrick Mahomes, that's already that says what your franchise is right there. You know what I'm saying?
That's on you.
That's what it says what your franchise is right there. So,
but again, here's my thing. Because you mentioned it off stream. Hindsight's a beautiful thing. Did anyone know Mahomes would be this?
Nah, that's the thing. Yeah, nobody knew he was going to be this great. Not this great.
So you make a good point. Yeah, he's Mahomes is great. I get that. Everyone watching football knows that. But this good? If he's with the Bears, would he be who if he was with the Bears, would he be who he is today? I don't know.
And it takes a great coach to develop a great quarterback.
Andy Reid.
Yeah. Say Patrick Mahomes came out and
with Matt Eberflus.
He got drafted. Yeah, he got drafted to the damn Washington. We might have messed him up.
Yeah.
We've been messing up quarterbacks all the time. So he got drafted to the Giants. Who knows what Dayball and them do over down there with Patrick Mahomes? I don't think I don't think he goes to 6 straight.
I think it's interesting because Dayball was great as his first year in the Giants with Daniel Jones, but I think Dayball was propped up for one reason. The reason he got a head coaching job. That people are going to hate this, and it's fine if you want to. You can believe what you want. Because again, that's the beautiful thing about sports. I think Brian Daboll, people thought he's better than he is because what was his job before he was the Giants head coach? Do you know?
Nah.
Before he was the Bears. Bills OC.
Learn me something. Teach me something.
Bills OC. You had Josh Allen. He's going to make
that was with Josh Allen or without Josh Allen?
With Josh Allen.
We know without Josh Allen, they were terrible.
When he was when they had their best season, when they went to the AFC Championship game, Brian Daboll was the offensive coordinator. It's Josh Allen, Daniel Jones. Like it's not close. Like if he was the head coach of the Bills, I get it. But Daniel Jones is not Josh Allen. So is Brian Daboll a good coach or did he have a good quarterback? That's a question I feel like we should be asking. Is he a good coach or did he have an all-time talent in Josh Allen?
Yeah, exactly. Josh Allen probably the guy, but Dayball did do something the Giants ain't done in a long time since Eli win them a playoff game with
That's
Daniel
true.
Jones, with Saquon. So is it the quarterback or the Dayball? And it's starting to look like the quarterback for the New York Giants, even though Josh Allen was great coming to the Buffalo Bills. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I think Dayball's a good coach. I just think it's a lot of pieces around there. You can't win with Slayton and Daniel Jones as your top people on offense. It's Saquon Barkley who can't stay on the field for his life. You know what I'm saying? So that's that's a
I
that's a different that's a
that's a
different
good
type
point.
thing. But let's move on. Uh, you got Brock Purdy
Yeah.
going up against Patrick Mahomes. They made it. They made the Super Bowl. Yeah, I know you. What was the feeling when you beat the Lions? Tell me what you're feeling. What was going through your
So
mind? I know you was a happy job guy.
so my exact feeling was I was watching the game, and I'm gonna read you a funny text message. This is from a family member of mine. Buddy, I'm going to bed. This game's over. This was at halftime. It was 24-7. I don't blame anyone for thinking that because we're down 17. Like I
Yeah,
don't like if in your heart of hearts, I can't blame you
to
for
the
thinking
Lions
that.
who are hot too. To the Lions
Yeah,
who are hot.
I can't. And then we came back because now here's my thing. I'm not a huge sports media guy, like watching it. I like doing it like this. I don't like watching it. Because there's so much out there now that it's all opinion based that you don't know what's real. But
Yeah, you're right.
Emmanuel Acho, who I like the guy, he made a really good point. Do you know what he said about the thing that makes him mad about the Cam Newton bit? It seems like you're
Oh,
because
oh,
what did Cam Newton wanted to see two things, and then he moved the goalpost again. What was the first thing Cam Newton wanted to see? Do you remember?
he wanted to see Brock Purdy be a game changer, right? He
No,
wanted to
that's
see
not
him
what it
do
was.
do things
The
on his
first thing,
own.
the first thing he wanted to see was him win without Debo or McCaffrey. Against Green Bay, he did that.
He did.
Then you
He
move.
did do it
Then you
without
move
him
the goalpost.
halfway through the
Then you
game.
move the goalpost again, saying he's got to come from behind and win the game. He did it again against Detroit, and then Cam Newton moved the goalpost again. So we're getting for.
He showed some poise. Brock showed some
So
poise, and
my
he
thing is,
definitely upped his
both
name.
things Cam Newton is saying that he wanted to see, Brock does. What more does the guy need to do? If you keep saying it and he does it, give him the respect at some point. Like Cam Newton, I respect the guy, but the two things you said you wanted to see, you saw. Stop moving the goalpost just because the guy was the last pick. Because here's the thing in my head, I know, and I think you know this too, because you and I, you know football better than me. I know the Niners, you know football. You know this better than anybody too. But so do I. If Brock Purdy went second overall, would anyone be saying this about him? No.
Nobody will be saying anything about him. He would be one of the best quarterbacks we've ever seen. Or Tony Romo
Because
always
yeah,
talking about Patrick
exactly.
Mahomes type.
And
You know
Tony
what
Romo
I'm
was undrafted. And Tony Romo was undrafted.
saying?
So my thing is, if he was second overall, no one would be saying this. But it's because he was Mr. Irrelevant, because he was the seventh round pick, number 262. People are saying this. If he was Trey Lance and drafted third overall, nobody would be saying this. So you can't move the
Exactly.
goalpost just because he was the last pick. Everything that you've said you wanted to see Cam Newton,
And like
he's done.
and like
Stop
said,
moving the goalpost just because you don't like somebody. Like I
yeah.
hate that.
And you seen it. He thought you're not the best. You're not even top 10 on your team, and that's the reason why you're not winning. And when is this guy going to prove it? Maybe he can prove it in the Super Bowl and win in the Super Bowl. And finally, Cam Newton might be off his case because it seems
Because
like
my
Cam
thing
Newton
is,
he ain't got anything other better to do. But he
because I
has
will
his
admit,
points.
in the first half, I will admit Brock Purdy did not look good. But in that second half, even Detroit fans were saying, damn, 13 won you that game. Because guess what? Last time I checked, he
But it's
scrambled,
hard.
not
It's hard
McCaffrey.
to say. Yeah. It's he's definitely a part of that comeback. But when you got Christian
No, he is
McCaffrey
the
bursting through
comeback.
the hole scoring, you know what I'm saying?
McCaffrey scored once in the second half. We had 27 unanswered,
He
down
scores
7.
every game. That's how great he is. That's why he. The
No,
thing
I
is
agree
with
with
Cam
you.
Newton, he's pointing out that his flaws and stuff like that. But sometimes the flaws that he's pointing out is not telling no lies, bro. You got Christian McCaffrey.
I understand.
Offensive player of the year, predicted to be offensive player of the year. Trent Williams, one of the best left tackles in the league. Your O line's great. Your defense has all time greats on it too. A Hall of Famer in Fred Warner, a Hall of Famer in Nick Bosa, Chase Young, second overall pick coming out of Ohio State, which he was the greatest DN in college football at the time before he got drafted. You know what I'm saying? You got some serious talent Hall of Famers
Okay,
on that
I
team.
hate that.
And
I
Brock
hate this
Purdy
for
being the
one. There's
quarterback.
one reason I hate this. There's one reason I hate that all-time thing. I hate that with a passion for one reason. If anybody could do it, anybody would. My example I go back to and I harked on since day one. We had Jimmy Garoppolo. I like the guy. He's not playing like this. And when we had our radio show, you didn't stand for any Kirk Cousins slander, and I get that. I don't stand for Jimmy G slander. I like the guy. If anybody could play in this offense, because we got all these pieces, right? Then why was Trey Lance god awful? I ask a question to anybody. Give me a legit reason. If anybody could do it, why was Trey Lance so bad?
We only seen Trey Lance for a little spurt. He got injured, and then Brock Purdy. As soon as he got injured, Brock Purdy came in and started.
No, we didn't. Jimmy G came back. No, we didn't. When he got hurt, Jimmy G started. Brock Purdy didn't play till week 12.
But then when Brock Purdy came in, he started to do great. Did he not? Yeah, Jimmy G was. Y'all were ready to get rid of Jimmy G either way. I think Jimmy G was gone from the building right in that between that year. As always talks about Jimmy G being gone that year. Anyway.
They locked him out of the building.
Trey Lance, he got injured, and that was the rest of the season. How many games did Trey Lance play in the regular season before he got injured? You know what I'm saying? Like, you could only count it on one hand.
My thing
exactly.
is,
you only count it on one hand until we get a full. I need to see more.
My thing with Trey Lance is this, and I have no ill will towards the guy. I wish him the best of the Cowboys. Like, I wish him the best. I really do. But my thing is with Trey Lance is, so I forget his name, but he's Palmer, Carson Palmer's brother. Jordan Palmer said it best. He got drafted because of one good year at an FCS school, North Dakota State. Do you know who else came out of that same school? Another guy who's in the league but is not great, Carson Wentz. So they make good quarterbacks, but they're not made to last because you're not playing Bamas every week. You're not playing your Ohio States. They're like the Alabama of lower level D1, but he had one good year and then he played one game during the COVID year and didn't play. So maybe that second year shows you the flaws that would have showed themselves had he played another year. So good for him. Yes, he got drafted third, but as you always said, and you said it in the last live stream, this is why I'm going to use it because I think you said it, so I think you believe it. Availability is your best ability. And
yeah,
Trey Lance and here's the thing: Trey Lance getting hurt's not Brock Purdy's fault.
Exactly. That's the next man up. Regardless, the next man up. Exactly. It's always the next man up, and that's what happened. Brock Purdy. Like I said, I think he's doing great. I think he's a good quarterback in this league. He's winning games, and not everybody can come into a team and just win it. Like I said, we seen pick 199 with Tom Brady. It always comes back to that. Doesn't matter where you're drafted at. Once you get that moment, that's your moment. And Brock Purdy is taking advantage of his moment. He's taking advantage of his moment.
That's how I look at it. Brock Purdy did an interview with the media, and they asked him about what were your thoughts on where you were drafted. You know what he said?
What he said?
After you're drafted, it doesn't mean anything. It just means you're either making a lot of money or you're not. Because here's my thing with that.
On what you do once you get in there.
Because I can name multiple first rounders that were flameouts. You can too. I can name a bunch of late rounders that are Hall of Famers. I'm not saying first rounders don't make it. We know that. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold was a first rounder. I don't think he's a flameout, but he's not great. But there's a lot of guys who are late rounders that are great. But it's like, I look at it like this. I'll say it again. If Brock Purdy went third overall, would anyone be surprised that he's doing this? No. But it's that he went to Iowa State.
And the thing is, when you picked up at those highest rounds, do you get paid that more of that money? It's not that chip on the shoulder like a person that picked that Mr. Irrelevant. You know what I'm saying? You got more hunger when you down pick low like that. So,
but he's also
So
as someone who's religious, and he's a very religious person too. He's extremely. There's a friend of mine. We were talking about it. Her son is a Hall of Famer, or her son is not a Hall of Famer. Her son's a Niner fan. And I said to her, if your son wants to look up to somebody, there's no one better than Brock Purdy because he's a Christian just like I am. He's humble as all get up. He's down to earth. He's he plays hard and he never says anything bad about any of his teammates. He reminds me, I don't know, obviously you know who Derek Jeter is. He's the football version of Derek Jeter. I'll give you one story about before we go on. Derek Jeter for the Yankees. You know about him, right? 20-year shortstop for the Yankees. So you know that when he was with the social media, when he was with the Yankees, the social media and the media people stopped talking to him because he wouldn't give him a story. He would not say nothing but positive things. They stopped talking to him. That's how Brock Purdy is to me. He's nothing but positive and uplifting of his teammates. And that's what you want a leader to be. And he just, for me as a religious guy, I love that as a leader of a team. I love it. Especially as a Christian.
Let's talk about a little bit about the Chiefs side of things. Need a battery for my computer in just a second. I'm gonna grab a cord real fast, but we can get started on the Chiefs side of things. Will Patrick Mahomes start this dynasty? Andy Reid gets it. He's the coach. He gets another Super Bowl. It only leads back to one person, and that's right here. I think we might need this is the only person that we can bring back that can beat Patrick Mahomes, and that can stop this curse, that can stop this Taylor Swift mess, that can stop him. And Tom Brady is the only. It runs back to him. He gives him his first playoff loss, first Super Bowl loss, and that's what I'm saying. If Patrick Mahomes is the only reason why he's not called the greatest of all time because of those losses right there. Maybe we still got Brady, but the thing that Patrick Mahomes is doing is crazy. Will he beat the 49ers and win?
I don't think he will because I'm not going to get into a political stance here, but I have a thought on it. But I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait it out, and maybe we'll talk about it another time if we want to get into a more like personal thing. But I've always thought this as a person who's religious. Your rise is as big as your fall. The Chiefs are a dynasty. Like they've made us, they like dynasty in the sense of they made 6 straight AFC championships. They made 3 straight Super Bowls. Lost to Brady. My thing is though, at some point, you're going to come down to earth. Brady won three Super Bowls, then didn't go for a decade, then won 3 more with the Patriots. At some point, they're going to fall off. And anyone that thinks I'm a hater, no, I don't like Mahomes. I don't like the guy, but I'm not wishing on his downfall. It's just how the sports world goes. I'm a Yankee fan.
Well, you're a 49er fan. Well, you're a 49er fan.
But I'm not wishing on his downfall.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is I'm not wishing on his downfall. But historically in sports, there's going to be a dip. There always is. The Yankees with Derek Jeter, he won 5 titles. He won 4. He won 1 point. He won 4 in 5 years. And then he didn't win again for not.
But I think we got to. But I think we got to cut off. I think we got to cut off this dip situation though, because it ain't happening in no time soon. I feel like this whole year he's been the underdog.
I really don't believe that. For
this whole year, Patrick Mahomes has been the underdog. They talk about his receivers. They talk about his frustration on the sideline. They talk about he's been the underdog in every game.
I don't believe that for one. There's one reason I don't believe that.
He's been winning. What makes you think he's not going to beat the 49ers even though y'all are favored? You know what I'm saying?
I'm not saying he's not going to beat us. I think if something goes his way, he might beat us. They're not crazy to think that.
It can go either way. It's just a prediction. It's just a prediction.
But for all of sports history, there's been a drop off with every great player ever. LeBron is kind of undefeated right now, but Father Time always wins. I'm not saying he's not as old as LeBron. Like I'm not saying that. But Tom Brady at 26 years old had 3 rings, then didn't go again for a decade. There's always a drop off. Even if you can come back up, there's still going to be a drop off. That's not me being a hater. That's just knowing about sports.
With young Josh Allen, who cannot beat Patrick Mahomes. Let's go through the competition that can't beat Patrick Mahomes, and they will be in his competition for the next, let's say, decade. Lamar Jackson signed a big deal. Josh Allen, he's not going nowhere for the Buffalo Bills. Joe Burrow, he's not going anywhere for the Bengals, signing a big contract. And Justin Herbert, these guys getting these contracts. No, none of these guys can beat Patrick Mahomes. None of them. We done already seen it year after year. Yes, there's going to be a drop off at some point. Guys start to get old. Teams start to fall apart. But it just seems like year in and year out, Patrick Mahomes, whatever talent he has around him, he gonna deal with it. Drops and all. Doesn't matter what's going on. As long as Travis Kelce's on that team, they the dog.
I look at someone like, for me, I look at it like this. Like, look at Tom Brady, for example. Tom Brady was 44 when he retired. Obviously won a ring with Tampa. Tom Brady's ridiculous. No one's going to win 7 rings again. I think we all know this. But how I look at it is along the same lines of kind of like an all-time great in basketball. Michael Jordan had a fall off. We still think he's great. We still think he's the GOAT. Most people think Tom Brady's the GOAT. He had a fall off and came back up. So Mahomes, his time, like, I look at it like this. Peyton Manning, what was he before, for his first 9 years? What was he known for? We talked about this on the phone, you and me. Mahomes, all Peyton Manning was known for his first 9 years of the league is, oh, you can't beat Tom Brady. You can't beat Tom Brady. When he did, he won the whole thing. John Elway, all we heard was, oh, you can't get through in the AFC. I'm trying to think who would have been great at that time. You can't get through Green Bay, who's in the NFC. John Elway got drafted in 1983. Didn't win a Super Bowl until 1998 and 99. Took him 15 years. So all these guys that you're saying can't beat him, John Elway, he didn't win it until year 15.
They finally beat him, but honestly, it's just looking like nobody. The Lamar Jackson
right now, yes. Right now,
best offense, the MVP. He's balling 13 wins.
13-4.
They're doing their thing. And 13-4, and then you go up against them and you can't score any points after the second half. Y'all not doing much of that.
That's wrong. That's wrong. Kansas City. No, that's incorrect. Kansas City didn't score in the second half.
Well, I know Kansas City didn't score, but Baltimore couldn't score enough to win. That's just point blank. Even though Patrick Mahomes got stopped and didn't. It's just I don't know. It's just the team. It's just Kansas City. You see KC.
You are right now,
and it's just
right now. You are correct. No one can beat him right now. Correct. But his time.
I don't think anybody's going to beat him in the future.
Josh Allen will get his time. Burrow already has beaten him. That's somebody that has beaten him. Burrow has beaten him.
Beaten him. He has to stay healthy. That's a guy who can give him a run for his money. But
Josh Allen,
at least Patrick Mahomes has proved that he could beat Joe Burrow. He has beaten him.
They've beaten each other.
Yeah.
What I will say about Josh Allen is this:
with Lamar Jackson, with these guys, they haven't beaten him.
Josh Allen, I will say like this: and I'm not going to take blame away from him because he deserves as much blame as his team. But when I say it like this, that game in 2021, that great AFC divisional round, the all-time great game when it was a shootout, the overtime game, right? And the past one.
Yeah.
As much as the Bills lose those games and they hurt to lose. I like as a 49er fan, I've watched my team lose 2 Super Bowls. It hurts. You know what a close loss feels like. It hurts. But I will say, yes, Josh Allen's team didn't win, but Josh Allen's not the reason they lost those games. I look at it like that. The Bills lost. Josh isn't the reason they lost. Josh played his ass off.
Well,
Stephon Diggs dropped it. Yeah, okay. He can't. He made the throw to Diggs. Diggs dropped it. That's not on him. Yes, his team lost. He's not the reason they lost.
I mean, he couldn't be the reason they lost, but as the quarterback of the team, it's always going to be your fault. Doesn't matter what happened. Look at Dak Prescott. He got a lot of garbage yards. He got a lot of garbage yards in that game with Green Bay, but he went for like over 500 passing yards and 4 touchdowns, something like that. But still, you just can't. It's just you're just not finding a way to beat Patrick Mahomes. Like
the Bills game was the kicker. That was the kicker's fault. Yeah.
Yeah, the
That
kicker
was
should have
tough.
made the kick. But think about it. You make the kick, you still have at least a minute to give the Patrick Mahomes. That we seen what the Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce could do in 13 seconds.
But we've seen
So
but here's the thing. I've said it like I was listening to a guy on TV I really respect, and you know what he said? He mentioned the 13 seconds game. He said, imagine if it was flipped. He says, say the overtime rule that was implemented the next year had been in place then. Yes, they scored in regulation and they scored in overtime to win the game. Kansas City won the game. I get it. They won the game. There's nothing you can do about it. But I look at it like this at the same point. As much as Kansas City won that game, I look at it like this. I think you have every reason to believe that 17 can go down the field and counter. I believe that wholeheartedly.
I don't think so.
I don't think
so because
dude,
they sometimes they
how many turnovers
sometimes
did
they
Josh
have
Allen
plays where they need to. Okay, think about it. You have chance after chance to go down the field. They had 2 chances. You got saved
he
with
scored on
Hardman
both
with
of
the
them.
fumble, and you had I'm talking about at the end of the game when they couldn't get connected with Diggs and stuff like that. You had chance after chance to finish
I'm
the
not talking about
game
that
and
one.
win the game.
We're talking about 2 different games. I'm talking about the one from 2 years ago.
Yeah, I know you're not talking about the game I'm talking about, but I'm talking about a moment in time where you're having chances to win those games. And yes, the defense has to figure out to get a stop on Patrick Mahomes, but when you're going against a balling Travis Kelce and a couple times with Tyreek Hill, you can't really stop a Patrick Mahomes at all. You just can you can try to
You can
make
try.
him confused. You could try, but that you're that's just not happening.
Yeah,
but
that's the key word. You can try.
You can try, but let's move on a little bit here. A little overtime on that one.
Lakers.
Is the we can talk about let's get Lakers. Let's get Lake Show. Hey, LeBron, you see my little LeBron toy right here. You know what I'm saying? That's the GOAT. That's the GOAT. And LeBron, he's back to 5. They get back to 500. They beat the New York Knicks. The Knicks have been balling. Give it to the Knicks. Jalen Brunson putting up big numbers. Yeah, topping. They got rid of what's guy who went to the Raptors? RJ Barrett. Get rid of RJ. They starting to find new ways to get it right. Julius Randle was out that game. He does have an injury. Who knows what he would have done in that game, getting back in and trying to go against LeBron. He might have stopped some of it. And the thing is, these role players for the Lakers, they starting to get it going. We see them win a big game without Anthony Davis and LeBron off the court.
Yep.
So the only question is, can you do it on the floor? Can you do it on the floor? And that's what we need out of Austin Reeves.
Okay, you took the words right out of my mouth. I'm going to piggyback off you. Austin Reeves showed without LeBron and AD, he's a ball. 32. He dropped 32. This kid's a beast.
But we know he has the talent like that. It's just trying to mesh with everybody, and LeBron needs to touch the ball. Like I said, I don't think LeBron's going to win a championship with him leading the team anymore. I think those days are over.
I agree with you. I'm with you on that.
I think he's still really great. I think he's a star on the team, but those days as him being the star, the superstar who needs to get you there, he done been through so much wear and tear. We know the teams he's been going against year after year, and the age of you're at 39, reaching 40, Tom Brady ages. You just cannot. They need Anthony Davis, and they need to find a way to get a superstar and let LeBron be a James Harden. You know what I'm saying? Let him be a James Harden for a couple years. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. James Harden, we see what the Clippers been doing with that team. Let him sit back and be a James Harden one time and see how many chips he might get. You know what I'm saying? But him as the old guy, that's not happening.
You mentioned third superstar. So let me ask you a question, because you and I probably agree here. Where do you stand on D'Lo then? Do you consider him a superstar, or where do you stand on DeAngelo Russell?
Oh, most definitely not. D'Lo the good role players who he probably thinks in his mind he's a superstar. The plays he tries to make, he has flashes. He has flashes of being a star. You know what I'm saying? There's flashes there from D'Lo, but we see a lot of struggles from D'Lo too, though. We see a lot of struggles. Yes. Yeah. But
I agree with you.
The trade deadline coming. Yeah,
I agree with you. I think in his mind he thinks that, and I don't know where you stand on this. looking back at it, do you think they regret the Westbrook trade? Like getting rid of him? What do you think? Do you think they regret that?
No,
I
they should
don't
have got
know.
rid of him. I'm sorry. I seen a
I agree.
podcast with Pat Bev and him talking about,
I know
oh,
what you're talking
you
about.
see
Yeah.
the teams they're on now, they're great and
Yep.
stuff like that. Let's be real. Yes, yes. Westbrook is playing really well with the Clippers, but he was just not good. He could not make a shot from the perimeter, not even a mid-range. He was forcing his way to the basket and couldn't get a layup for his life. He was playing bad. And Pat Bev, you were a liability, even though you're a defensive player. You have no offense in your bag. You can't score 5 points in
I'm
a
with you.
game. So
But
let's not be delusional here. Like y'all were the
no,
reason that, you know what I'm saying? Let's not be
I agree.
delusional here.
Because we both know the Lakers probably regret that trade.
Yeah,
Because Russell Westbrook
Lakers,
is I don't care what anybody says. You know this, and I know this. If you know basketball, you know Russell Westbrook is a superstar.
Russell Westbrook is a superstar, but not no more. I'm sorry to break it to anybody. What like I said, Westbrook has been balling on the Clippers. Yes, he's a hustle player. But sometimes Russell Westbrook could get in his mind. Like on the Lakers, Russell Westbrook was not the Russell Westbrook on the Lakers that he is now on the Clippers and actually taking that seat back. On the Lakers, Westbrook thought he was still that superstar coming out of OKC and doing his thing a little bit with the Washington Wizards, and he still had that Russell Westbrook name and still getting triple doubles and stuff like that. Now with the Clippers, this is your last chance, Russell Westbrook. You get in here and you do a terrible job in here, you're gone. You're done. This is your career. There's a difference between a mindset to where your career's on the line and then when you're still the superstar thinking you're Cam Newton.
So you think this is his last best shot?
Like this was his last best shot, but now he didn't revive he definitely took a turnaround from where he was with the Lakers, thinking that he was still one of the better players on the team coming to the Lake Show, hometown and whatnot. But he was not good. Him and Pat Bev were not good. So let's not be delusional. I don't want to be delusional.
Do you think Ty Lue has something to do with that? What do you think?
Oh, Ty Lue has everything to do with that.
I agree.
We know Ty Lue from not saying he was under LeBron, but the way he coached that team and going to multiple championships with the Golden State Warriors. Yeah. Remember, they came back from 3-1. That's a lot to do with LeBron. That's a lot to do with that's a lot to do with LeBron. That's a lot to do with Kyrie and stuff like that. But as a head coach, you got a lot to do with that too. So Ty Lue is a great coach, and everywhere Ty Lue has been, has he not been great?
You know what I'm saying? He's been great.
He's been great. So he's
a great coach. I want to touch on with the Lakers.
NBA. He's played in the NBA.
So I want to touch on something with the Lakers that we talked about. Do I think they win the title this year? No. But I want to ask you a question because there's something I also want to mention about the NBA. What do you think the Lakers' expectations?
I want my boys to win the title.
I do too. But what do you think is realistic for them?
Realistically,
yes. What's realistic? Yes.
Conference
semifinal.
The thing is, they went to the Western Conference final last year. I think the semi is your best bet. The way y'all, the thing is, we seen before the in-season tournament, y'all were really great getting into there, beating Halliburton was on fire. Those guys were on fire, and y'all really did y'all thing. When y'all are playing for something, yes, boom, that's when y'all want to be great. But in the regular season, we got a lot of games here and there, people lacking off. We know he had family situation with Bronny coming back to play basketball. And
heart attack.
You know what I'm saying? It's you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of things going on in regular season that you can get your mind off of. But these guys need to stay focused. And Austin Reeves, keep doing your thing that you've been doing.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question before we move on. Let me ask you
can't be the hero.
I agree because so I have two other things I want to touch on with the NBA. Where do you stand on that new 65 game rule? Where do you stand with that?
Oh man. Let's go, Vance. That's what I'm talking about. Putting something in my mind, an idea that
I had that note about. Yeah, I had that note on my phone.
So we got a Joel Embiid problem. We seen what happened with what's going on with his legs and stuff like that. He was an MVP last year, but the 65 game rule, honestly, you play to play. We got fans out here paying $500 a ticket. They on the sideline watching these games play.
1,000%.
1,000%. You know what I'm saying? And then you had Jordan playing all 82. LeBron playing most of his games. He rarely missed a game. Kobe, he's played full seasons almost every single season. You got to play, bro. The thing is, I'm sitting here, I'm getting paid $18, $20 an hour to break my back in the warehouse. You're getting paid millions of dollars to play basketball in front of a packed crowd. You know what I'm saying? You should want to play. You know what I'm saying?
I look at it like this. I look at it like this. I'll use this as an example. I went to MSG. I saw a college basketball game. Say I went to see the Lakers versus the Knicks in the Garden because I wanted to see LeBron James. And I'm a 11-year-old kid and LeBron doesn't play that night. And I may never go to another basketball game. I spent $500 to see my favorite player not play. Are you kidding me?
That's ridiculous.
I just spent all that money to see my favorite player not play. And I read an article. Do you know who's to blame for this? As much as people love him, do you know who a lot of people blame for this? The load management that we talk about? No.
Kawhi.
Yes and no. Who do they blame? Who coached Kawhi?
Doc Rivers.
No. Spurs.
Who? Oh,
Pop.
Spurs. Oh, Popovich.
Popovich was notorious. Popovich was known for notoriously known for load management.
Yeah.
He was known for it.
Yeah.
He would sit Tim Duncan, and if they had a playoff lock, they'd sit Tim Duncan and Manu Ginobili and Tony Parker. They'd sit him. So my thing is like that ideology. I'm a baseball fan. I love baseball. If you're able to play in baseball, you're playing. And they play double the games. And here's another thing with baseball. Another thing. This is why I hate basketball players complaining. They play 82 games and they don't play every day. Baseball, you play double the games. You play 162 games and you're playing every day. I don't get you're making $60 million a year and little kids are going to watch you play because you're a superstar. Give them a show. I'm with you 1,000%.
Exactly. The NBA has definitely gotten to a point where it got too soft. That's why during the NFL season, we're not watching NBA. I'm sorry, I don't watch NBA that unless they're like this weekend. The Knicks and the Lakers, they played, but there was no football. I guarantee you
you're going to watch that. Yeah,
exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Because I look at it like this.
LA, you got to watch something like that. But other than that, nah.
They had Joe Dumars on First Take. You know what he said?
What he said?
They're begging people to play. Why are you begging? You know how sad is that?
Somebody
You're begging your best players
millions of dollars.
Joe Dumars played a lot. Joe Dumars is an all-time great for the Pistons. They're having to beg grown men to play the game that they're paid to play anyway?
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
That makes no sense. And you get paid millions of dollars. You living better than what I'm living. I'm working every day. You get paid millions of dollars to go out here and play
basketball.
And then parents' hard work to get their kids to the game. They work every day, 8 hours, 9 to 5. You know what I'm saying? Maybe some 10 hours overtime to get their kid to the game. And Luka, you ain't playing. Kawhi, I wouldn't ever try to get to see a Kawhi if I'm a Kawhi fan. I got to legitimately talk to Kawhi. I need to legitimately talk to Kawhi myself and text him, are you playing before I go see Kawhi? Because it's not a guarantee before we see Kawhi. I'm just sorry. I'm not doing that.
Here's the thing. And I want people to understand this. We're not ripping on Kawhi. We love Kawhi Leonard, but he doesn't play a lot. Kawhi's a superstar.
And I understand going against a bad team too. Like I understand you going against the Detroit Pistons who ain't winning like that. But still, you are a player. You signed up to play. It doesn't matter who you play. Just like said in the NFL, yes, there's way less games, but you ain't sitting out or you're getting fined automatic. You might get fined almost $1 million just for not playing. They need to get strict about that. Adam Silver, I'm glad 100%. He passed that little 65 game thing.
I wanted to ask you that because here's my thing. I'm a Yankee fan. Usually we're a great team. If we're going against the Colorado Rockies, who've never won a championship and are usually awful, the best players are still going to play in that game. You know why? Because baseball players understand that you're there for a show. You're there to watch the best players. So give us a show. We're there for, because the thing basketball players need to understand, and I want to say something. I know if there's anyone listening to this, we're not big enough, but I hope we get there one day. I want them to hear me. When we go to a basketball game, we're there to see you do what you do best. We want to see you put on a show. Give us a show. You know why we love sports? Because not everybody can do what you can do. Not everybody can do what Mahomes and Josh Allen and LeBron James and Michael Jordan and Derek Jeter and Aaron Judge, these guys. I can't do what they can do. That's why I love to watch these guys, because I'm like, how is a human doing this? And then you're going to sit out the game because you're playing a bad team? That's just stupid to me.
I think it's stupid, and it's just like getting an A. You got A in science, but you only showed up 10 games out of the 100. You only showed up 10 days out of the 100 days you're supposed to be in this class. No, you're not supposed to. You failed on this class because you missed too many days. You know what I'm saying?
You don't deserve an A.
You don't deserve an A because you only been here 10 days. That's kind of what gets it to me. But question of the day: what is your favorite video game out there? My favorite is Madden. Right now, no, but Madden 2012 was the best Madden I played, because historically, that's just what I grew up off of. That when I got an Xbox, that was one of my favorite games. Shout out to anybody who played Halo. You know what I'm saying? It was some great games back then. You know what I'm saying? Halo used to be great. Call of Duty, Black Ops was great, but Madden standing out to me because that's just, I was a football player growing up, so football game is just sports game is just what I attach to. What about you, man?
For me, I've got 3 answers. I'm going to try and narrow it down here. I've got 3 great answers, but I'm going to try and pick one. MLB The Show, Uncharted 4, and Spider-Man PS4. Those are my 3 favorite games I always play. If I had to pick one for me, Uncharted 4. I can play that game
the thing is about the Spider-Man, dude, I would be so mad because I have an Xbox and I just cannot play it. I really want to play that game so bad. Spider-Man for Xbox players out there. I know you feel me. You feel me, bro.
It's a Sony exclusive, yeah. I love those games.
Yeah, it's almost to the point where you want to get rid of your Xbox just to try to go and play that game. You know what I'm saying?
It won Game of the Year. Yeah.
I won't do it. Yeah, the year it came out, it won Game of the Year. Exclusives. Yeah, they get so many good exclusives. We got Game Pass. We can play 360 games, but Spider-Man is definitely definitely one under the radar I wasn't really thinking of, but you hit that on the point. And MLB The Show, I don't really play it like that, but you're a baseball guy, and I know that's what
love it. I grind that game.
You love it. Yep.
And then Uncharted 4, because the Uncharted series is my favorite game series of all time. I love Uncharted. I've played all of them. 1, 2, 3, and 4. The movie was great. I've played all of them. Uncharted 4 is ridiculous. It came on PlayStation. I played them all. And then I want to ask you another question about before we go on, I want to ask you a question about the NBA real quick. One more. So there's a certain popular TV host by the name of Stephen A. Smith. We talked about this off the air, and I'm going to bring it up because I just thought it was hilarious. I know you did too. He was talking about a man by the name of LeBron James, and he said, if you want to win a title, LeBron, go to the Knicks. No, don't do that. You're going to give up way too many players. It's a great idea. It's not going to happen. It's a great idea.
Never happen.
It'll never happen.
LeBron, I seen where LeBron said he's thought about it before. I've seen that where he said he's thought about it before, but that ain't happening. Y'all just got good. You know what I'm saying? Y'all just got good. The Knicks.
Imagine LeBron in the Garden though. Just think about it. Just think about it for a second. LeBron in the Garden every night.
If I'm Carmelo, why now?
Yeah, you didn't come in 2010. You
should have been in the days.
You should have came in 2010. Yeah.
Yeah, you should have been came. You going to join Miami now? Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think for real. And I said this. I don't think I said this to Vance, but I said this to somebody. And if they watch it, they're probably like, "Yeah, you did say that." LeBron. The only reason why he is still in LA and hasn't requested a trade is because he's in LA. If this was the Cavs, he would have been left. You know what I'm saying? He left the Cavs when his stuff started to get rough. I know. He got swept in the finals and stuff like that. But LA,
you come out the first time or the second time why he left?
LA. I
He
mean,
left the second time he left is
the
because
second time
Dan Gilbert wanted
yeah,
to get
yeah,
rid of
yeah,
him. The
yeah.
first time
The first
he
time
was
he left,
dragging tissues to the finals.
yeah, he was. Put it like that. They was dragging his own self to the finals. That's what he was dragging. And then in the second time, they get rid of his guy Kyrie. I think we can talk about napkins too. He was starting to, we seen J.R. Smith. He was doing Hennessy again in the middle of the game. Didn't know what
Yeah,
the
that
score was.
the iconic picture. The what are you
Yeah, I would
doing?
have been done right there too. I would have been done right there too. But
You
the
know,
same thing with
after
LA.
that game, he's like, we're losing the series. I'm going to
Yeah,
LA.
we're losing that series. We're done. He's going to LA, but
I'm going to
he
Los
gets
Angeles.
there. Magic Johnson leaves. They miss the playoffs. Josh Hart, Lonzo, all these Ingram, all these young guys
Kuzma.
don't know how to win. They get rid of them for AD. AD comes. They get a championship. But other than that, AD been a pencil. He's been broken, snapped,
Yeah.
all types of fragments. Doesn't know how to be on the court at any point in time. If I'm an AD fan and I wanted to come and see him, don't take any chances seeing him because he might not be there.
Exactly.
This year he's been consistent with his health, but who knows? We still got another
He's very
half
fragile
of the season to go. You know what I'm saying? Very fragile guy. LeBron, who knows? I don't think he's in LA any longer than what he is now, if just because the market he has in LA. I think that's what it is.
But I also do think wherever his son goes, he wants to play with his son. If his son's,
So
let me
he's
ask you a
waiting it
question.
out. He is waiting
Let me
it
ask you a
out.
question. How interesting would this be? Just crazy idea. Son drafted by the Charlotte Hornets. Who owns the Hornets? The guy that he's trying to say he's better than. Imagine that.
Yeah.
That would be a crazy team. LeBron James,
That would be a
Bronny
crazy
James,
team.
owned by Michael Jordan.
And-
My goodness.
And yeah, shout out to the people who still watching. I still see you. I see the eyeballs. So hey, look, say something in the chat. Say what's up. We watching in the chats. If y'all got any questions to plan out there
Yeah,
that
throw 'em
y'all
at
want
us.
us to answer, we'll throw them out there. So doesn't matter if
Honestly.
it's 2,000, 2 million people in the chat. We love all of y'all. Y'all keep watching us. We still talking some. We still got 10 minutes here, and this is goes to the question here. Another thing I wanted to talk about is the NFL rigged. Is the script writers actually in there penciling, papering down some stuff because we're seeing too much of this Taylor Swift. We're seeing too much of this. We seen Taylor Swift. She done made $400 million for the NFL. Travis Kelce, we see the money there. The Chiefs, they keep winning games that we think they shouldn't be winning. They beating Lamar Jackson teams with no Quadarius Tonys, with Scantling who can't catch the ball. Rasheed Rice is the dog, but how is he winning these games? Is it the script? Is it the dynasty they trying to make it after the Patriots, or what is it, Vance?
I have my input, but again, this is not political, so I'm not going to try and make it that. But I'll just say to the best of my ability, for my love of sports, I hope it's not scripted. I really hope it isn't. For my love of sports.
I mean, it's just at a point, man, that we just getting. I'm tired of these Tom Brady teams, bro. I do not want to see a time dynasty again. I don't want to see Patrick Mahomes in his sixth AFC championship.
I want you to be
and
fair,
I don't want him to win the Super Bowl.
I want you to be fair, though. As much as we don't like the Chiefs, and you are correct, would you be saying that if it was your team?
I wouldn't be saying if it was my team, but I would think it. That's the thing. That's the only fans that are not saying this is the Kansas City Chiefs fans, and that's it. But we can all see around. These guys shouldn't be winning these games, and Taylor Swift is a big reason why it's a lot of content. There's a lot of videos. There's a lot of everything surrounding the Kansas City Chiefs. We're gonna talk about it in a little bit. Patrick Mahomes' dad getting arrested, but we're gonna stay on the rig situation right quick. And I just think it's a lot of stuff been going on with Kansas City. We see the no calls. We see the pass interference against the back of the end zone where Lamar throws that interception. They call nothing right there. We're seeing some stuff that's just not right when these teams go up against Kansas City. Josh Allen should have had one. Lamar Jackson should have had one. And it doesn't seem like the Patrick Mahomes has this team around him that should be winning all these games. I'm sorry, bro. So is the NFL rigged? I'm going, yes. We're going, yes, here.
I don't want to believe it is, because you're compromising sports at that point. As much as you're probably right, Dino, Sports,
It probably can't
sports
be.
is
Probably can't be.
as much as you might be right but it also compromises sports at that point because you're watching sports for the unknown, for the
But
underdog to win.
yeah,
That's why you watch
we thought
sports, is for that
we
kind of
thought we
stuff.
were watching it. Yeah, we thought we were watching it for the unknown until
Yes.
FanDuel, DraftKings, Sports Picks, all
ESPN
this
bet,
stuff came
Fox
coming
bet.
out. ESPN bets, all these betting websites that you can bet on sports
Yeah.
with. So we just have that in our mind, like, yo, this. How is my bet losing by a yard? How am I going over it a yard? Oh my gosh, this is happening, and it's all money based.
There
The
was another
players are
crazy
money
thing.
based.
There was something that I had believed for a long time. I'm going to tell you a crazy story, okay? So we played Ohio State New Year last year, played Georgia. We lost the game 42-41. We missed a field goal to lose a game in the Final Four. So
They win because of Swift. Shout out my boy Dexter style boy. They win because of Swift, and that's the reason. And my boy's a Ravens fan, and shout out to the Ravens. They took a L there, but it's rigged, baby.
So
Taylor
let me
Swift
finish.
shouldn't be
So let me
getting
see what
all
I
this
was.
stuff.
So
Right now, bro.
there's a thing that I have with. There's a funny thing that I saw. So I was Ohio State was playing Georgia. We lost 42-41. We missed a field goal to lose a game. Do you know what became legal on New Year's Day 2023 in Ohio?
The
Take a
sports bet,
guess.
like
Yes.
sports betting.
There's
Sports
people
betting?
that thought he missed a field goal because he made money if he missed it.
And
So
I don't
Ohio
know if
State
anybody.
loses-
This is kind of off
Ohio
topic though.
State, yeah, they said Ohio State lose this game to make money. I was like, what are we doing? Like, I don't want to believe it's rigged, but it might be. I don't want to believe that though, because we love
Nobody
the
wants to believe
unknown.
it, but everything is money based. Like everything now has
Yes.
became
No,
money
you're not
based.
wrong.
Back then, it was
No, Dino,
you couldn't bet.
you're 100% correct.
Yeah.
But you ruin the integrity of sports at that point.
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. That I don't think it could get to that point, but it's behind the scenes or something. Like we don't know the
Something's
government
off. Something's off
classifies stuff. You know
somewhere.
what I'm saying? The government classifies stuff that
Yes.
we can't see, and there's a lot of stuff that we don't see in the world.
Something,
but
yes. Something's off
it's something
somewhere.
off, bro. It's
Somewhere.
something
Something's off. Yes.
I'm telling you,
You're not wrong.
it's something. It's
As much
something.
as we
Taylor
don't want,
Swift worth
yes.
$2 billion. She got all them fans and stuff, and that's new revenue. That's new revenue. You know what I'm saying? But
you make a good point but the integrity of the sport, do you want to ruin your integrity for money? Because yes, money does run the world, but at what point is it too much? That's the thing I look at it.
It never gets too much. If you more money, more people get evil, more people try to trick us, and that's what
100%.
might be what's happening here with Taylor Swift.
1,000,000%.
But more news, and we'll finish it off with this.
Patrick Mahomes' dad,
DWI. Patrick Mahomes' dad arrested. The guy, he looks nothing like. The thing is, the way Mahomes treats himself, but he has to treat himself that way. You're an NFL player, you can't be wild and stuff like that. But I think his dad is cool. I think he's a cool guy. He probably meant no harm
Major League Baseball
when he
player.
got the DWI. Yeah, he probably meant no harm and stuff like that. So I ain't gonna do the dude too bad. I hope he can still make the Super Bowl. Hopefully he's not restricted from that. But I think it's his third charge, and hopefully he can still get his dad there. We see him video. Yeah,
they said it was his third. It's actually they said it was his third. It was actually his seventh.
His seventh charge. So who knows? The guy he need just it's I know it's Super Bowl week. You turned up with your family. Everybody getting turned up because I know I would be turned up. My brother or my son or my cousin, my
Your
uncle going
friend,
to the Super Bowl don't matter. We turned up, especially if I'm going to Las Vegas and we getting into $2.5 million suites. Don't know who got that type of money, but I'm not spending no $2.5 million for no suite just to watch a game for a couple hours. You're crazy. You know what I'm saying? Those tickets are crazy. I've seen where the tickets was like the minimum was 8 bands.
I saw that too.
8 bands to get in there. But you know, he got a secure seat. You know, they're not leaving his dad out. They're gonna figure out every type of way to get him out. You know, he Patrick Mahomes' dad in whatever county. Yeah, whatever police station is not like a guy who just gets arrested and nah, this is Patrick Mahomes' dad, and sometimes you get privileges, and he will be right out. I thank y'all for watching this stream. Me and Vince are coming at it. I was on, like I said, I was on vacation last week. I didn't get the video out last week, but I will be maintaining. We will be coming. We will be going on live every Saturday, every Sunday, especially after the Super Bowl. We will be talking about that game, and we're gonna wish my luck to 49ers fans out there with Vance. Check out the live stream. Check out the vlog coming tomorrow. I met Corey. I went to the Miami Heat Stadium. Check out the shorts coming soon, and check out the live streams coming in the future with me and Vance. I thank y'all, baby. God bless.
God bless y'all.